In this box, I have everything that you need to catch bass on a fly fishing rod. I'll show you guys what I have in this box in just a second, but first let's take a look at the lake and the conditions we're gonna be dealing with today because it is a little different than what is normal. I'm at Lake Tahoe today. It's a lake that I fish a lot, but for whatever reason, they did the same thing this time last year, is they drained the lake. If you guys take a look down the bank here, that's where the normal bank is, and about 4 feet lower in water level, the water level now, so that should be pretty interesting for the fishing. I'm slightly concerned though because there are a bunch of weeds and stuff in the bank and that might make it hard while we're fly fishing. Fly fishing is something that I do a lot but haven't done on this channel. Ever since I moved to Texas, I never really had a fly rod, so I was never able to do it. That's gonna change today because I finally purchased my first set of fly fishing stuff for bass. We'll first start with the rod. This rod was actually given to me by my dad. It is a Sage Launch 9-foot 9-weight 4-piece. The reason I chose 9-weight is because it was what was given to me and it's kind of what we're gonna deal with. It'll work for bass. It might be a little heavier than what I want. Typically would go with like a 7-weight for fly fishing for bass, but this will do the job. I also fish in saltwater and I think that's why he gave it to me. So we're gonna do a couple videos in the saltwater, see if we can catch some big redfish on the fly. Now we're gonna start off with what's in this freaking box that I bought. First thing is this reel right here. I bought a Redington Behemoth fly fishing reel, I think is what it's called. I already have it spooled up with line because it kind of takes a while to spool up these big fly reels and I didn't want to do it at the fishing spot. So the next thing I bought was obviously the fly line. So I just got Rio bass fishing fly line. Pretty standard, doesn't have loops on the end of it, so it kind of made it challenging to rig it up, and it's going to be a pain in the ass every time I switch leaders because I have to tie a nail knot. Overall, Rio is like the staple of fly fishing line, so if you guys are looking to buy some, I would just buy that. Since it's 9-weight, I went with 30-pound backing. This stuff really doesn't matter as long as it's strong enough to handle whatever fish you have on that's taking you to the backing. It's pretty fine. Next thing I have is a bunch of tippet. Again, bass tippet. I'm not gonna go and buy a bunch of expensive fluorocarbon tippet. This was like 10 bucks. Spool tippet now for trout, for fluorocarbon could be anywhere from like $25 to $30. Leaders, I got a 3-pack of leaders. This will probably last me a month or so. Then I'll have to go and order more leaders. Again, Rio, just monofilament bass leaders. Something to cut the line with. And then this box is fairly empty. I didn't go with the fly box just because I didn't feel like it really mattered. This will throw in my bag a little easier and keep the flies more in order. Bunch of random flies that I know will probably work for bass. Again, like the patterns of these streamers isn't real too important. It's more so just getting them in front of the fish. I hope you guys like this fly fishing content because by trade, I think I'm better at fly fishing than I am at any other type of fishing. So hopefully I can keep, fly fishing for you guys and we'll grow the channel that way. I really think this is going to be huge for how much I enjoy fishing and how much fishing we actually do. This is interesting. There's like a bunch of people on horseback. What? A fly fishing rod? I can't do that to save my life. Fly fishing. It's not a Texas thing. Are you recording a YouTube video? Yeah. Can I get in it? Sure, come here.
What's going on YouTube channel? I'm Braden, nice to meet y'all. These my friends.
How's your horses?
This is what happens when you fish in Texas.
Yeah. All right, guys, there's the final product with the fly rod at the bass fishing spot in Texas. I look like an idiot compared to all the Texans. They've damn near never seen a fly rod in their entire life. So who knows? We'll see if this thing works and we'll see if we can freaking catch bass. The guy told me that the bass are spawning right now, so they're on bed. Anyways, let's get the chesty on and let's start fishing. All right, guys. Get the first cast with the fly rod in like a very long time. Okay, it worked. Not the greatest cast. I think I'm gonna have to cast this thing pretty far. The name of the game today is just casting and stripping this thing and trying to keep it away from the weeds. Okay, I already have a follower. What's kind of nice about bass fishing is with a fly rod is you can kind of catch the small fish and the big fish. Let's see if we can catch one. Nope. Anyways, yeah, guys, I've been fly fishing like pretty much my whole life. It's not something you think to like bring the gear of when you move to a place like Texas, but just because, the fishing isn't kind of what you're used to in Texas doesn't mean you can't do the things that you enjoy. I'm gonna keep fishing here and we'll see if we can catch anything. And again, guys, like I'm fully committed to being that fly fishing dude that, oh guys, first bite. He might have hit the tail. Let's get it back in there. Okay, that was a bigger fish. I have some smaller flies that you know, might help catch me these smaller fish, but so far we're just gonna keep casting and see if we can catch anything. And again, like, I'm gonna get better at casting throughout the day, so don't judge me on the first couple casts. By the end of the day, I'll be throwing great loops. Also, I'm not really used to throwing a 9-weight either. Oh, okay. Either on beds or like approaching to be on beds, because that fish hit my fly a couple times in the same exact spot. Usually doesn't happen. Okay, pretty decent back cast. It's not typically a bass fishing strategy, but that doesn't mean it won't work. It's just inefficient, I feel like. You're not gonna get the amount of casts you will out of a fly rod that you will with a bass fishing rod, especially when you're stripping line in. That was a good cast. A little backwards action. Definitely feeling more and more comfortable with this thing. Let it sink for a little and we'll strip it in. Let me know, guys, if you guys like this fly fishing stuff, and I can make some tutorials on how to catch bass on fly rods. I can make some tutorials on, you know, how to get into fly fishing, how to learn how to cast. But again, I'm probably a bigger authority on fly fishing than I am bass fishing with a bait caster. My back cast here is a little wooded, so it's going to be a little more challenging, but honestly, this lake being drained is kind of helping my case for the fly fishing rod. Okay, fish well. Yep, first bass of the day, guys. That was so sick. Okay, not very big, but I literally watched him freaking follow my bait in. Let's go, guys. Oh, there we go, guys. First fish of the day, freaking dead shallow on the fly rod. Let's go, guys. Freaking nice bass. Let's get this guy released and we'll see if we can catch another one today. The black fly worked so far, so nice little guy. A lot of times I experienced in Maryland with fly fishing is that on the ponds that are really heavily pressured with anglers, sometimes the best thing you can do is whip out the fly rod and throw something that the bass haven't seen before. The way the baits that are presented to the bass is different. The type of bait is different. You're throwing something that can be way smaller and lighter. Just overall, you're gonna have an advantage if you're throwing a fly rod in a bass pond that's pretty pressured. So I'm walking back, I see a big fish. It looks like he's on a bed. We're gonna cast to him and see if we can hook him. Where did he go? Hope I didn't spook him. Okay, let's just cast in that area and see if he shows up. Oh, there he is, there he is. Okay, guys, I'm literally bed fishing for bass with the fly rod. Yep, big fish, guys. Big bass. Oh my gosh, this is so sick. Let's go, guys. He ate it. Nice. Let's freaking go. No, he came off right at the freaking bank. Oh, I'm gonna count that as a land. That was so sick, guys. Bed fishing with a fly rod in Texas. How many people could say they've done that? That is so sick. A freaking nice bass off a bed. Let's go. All right, guys, that's a fly picked out. Gonna look just like a freaking bluegill in the waters. It'll be perfect for these bedded fish. I'm hoping they will slurp it still off the bottom, because that's how I caught the fish on the bed last time. But the plan is to go find another fish on a bed. Water's typically this high. I would give it probably 4 feet lower than it normally is. Speaking with the horseback riders, they said they lower it to do maintenance on the little yard park, swim park thing that they have in this lake. That's actually pretty cool, but annoying to go fishing in because they blast music in the summer. One thing I've never done is actually fished along this dam here. This is so low such that I could actually walk along here without, you know, being right next to this fence. I'm gonna try to avoid those power lines with the fly rod, but you know, that could be a potential challenge. I wanna show you guys a little trick with this thing. There's a fence behind me. I wanna cast in front of me. Obviously can't do that. There's something over top of me. I wanna cast in front of me. Obviously can't cast high, right? Can't high stick it this way, Can't high stick it up and down. So I'm gonna have to cast sidearm parallel with the bank, but somehow get the line out towards the right. There's a little bit of a wind blowing towards me too. So what I'm gonna do is cast parallel, and then I'm gonna stop my cast about halfway where I normally would cast. So instead of stopping it here, I'm gonna stop it maybe here. And what that's gonna do is put the fly line out at an angle versus casting, you know, straight parallel to the bank. So let's see if we could do this. Again, I haven't really casted a fly rod in quite a while. A little more line out. Perfect, guys. So obviously I didn't lay it out perfectly, but I got some distance and casted with nothing behind me, so I'll call that a win. Nice little trick. Oh, yep, there he is. Nice fish, guys. Right at the freaking bank. Let's go. Not very big, but he freaking destroyed it. Let's go, guys. He sucked that fly up. Look at that, guys, on the freaking bluegill fly. Nice little bass, probably the biggest bass of the day. Use that little casting trick and it freaking works. So let's release him and see if we can catch fish number 4, 3.5 of the day, if you don't count the other one as a land. But man, it's so fun to catch fish on the fly rod. It is freaking happening. Let me walk out on this dock and show you what is about to happen. I know it's gonna be freaking sick. You guys can see that this is all drained down. A little bit of a shame, but the bass are somewhere deep, I think, or in the current if the water's too warm. You guys can see the water that feeds this lake is directly in front of me, sitting right there. And then there's a little creek that comes up, and that creek channel follows all the way down. Something that you can't do normally at this spot is walk up to the creek channel and fish. Here you can, and it looks like there's current. So hopefully I can avoid mud. It's not too muddy around here. I'm gonna walk up that creek and we're gonna fly fish like we're fly fishing somewhere out west and catch some freaking mondo bass on the fly rod out of this creek channel. Stay tuned, guys. I think this is gonna be a freaking awesome spot. Oh yeah, not happening. This is what you would call absolutely stuck. Thought it was grass. Oh no. Oh, fuck. Didn't want to get my hands muddy today. It's like a suction cup on this stuff. Freaking great. Oh, okay. Good thing I didn't wear my good flip-flops today. Oh, guys. Oh boy, this is gonna be money. I'm not kidding you. This is gonna go crazy, guys. This spot is not getting beat in Texas with the fly rod. I have current going into a drained pond, a ton of oxygen right here, not a lot of oxygen over there. It's deep, deeper than any spot in this whole area, and it looks good, guys. So let's freaking cast a couple in there, see if we can hook a giant. I'm feeling pretty confident. This is like almost a freaking trout spot. Okay, fish, guys. Let's go. First fish of this spot. Oh no! No! He took my fly! Dang it! Oh no, I tied a bad freaking knot, guys. That's annoying because I didn't bring any flies over here. Now I gotta walk all the way back. All right, well, I'm gonna go back to the car, tie a different fly on, and I'll be back over here in quite a jiffy amount of time. Finally freaking made it back to the spot after like a 20-minute walk, half-mile escapade to the car. Got a different fly tied on. I have a little deceiver. This thing looks like a minnow. Got some deer hair on it. Made sure to tie a better knot. We're gonna toss it down there and see if we can catch any more fish in this spot. This thing's a little heavier, so it'll sink better, and hopefully we end up actually catching something. Landing something. Yep, I got flashed. All right, this looks like a good spot to get down here. Don't be crazy muddy. Probably gonna be pretty similar to how it was over there. Yep. All right. I'm gonna leave the shoes, I think. This looks like it could be really money, guys, for these bass, especially with the fly rod. I mean, I could ask for a more cool current spot to fish with this thing. Fishing it from a different angle too, hopefully will give us a better chance to hook a second fish in this spot. It's probably pretty challenging for the fish to swim all the way up this, but I'm not gonna count that out as a possibility. Okay, perfect cast. I don't think it's happening again here, which is a shame because I really thought it was. I got the dogs out for it and everything. Okay, we've officially made it to the other side of the pond. We're gonna walk along the bank here all the way until that little swimming area that we saw earlier. We'll see if maybe we can find some more fish in the shallows. Oh my gosh, I wasn't filming. I was casting straight out here. I just saw a freaking giant spook. Okay, right there. That's a perfect cast. Come on. Come on. Where do you go? He might be on a bed right here. Dang it, guys. There we go. Not that far. Okay. That fight. Yep, fish, guys. Nice fish, let's go. Nice bass. So fun to fight these on the fly rod, guys. Come on, don't break off. Let's go, guys. Nice little bass. As always, dink backflip, always fun to catch a bass on the fly rod. They fight way more fun on the fly rod. Long and skinny. There he goes. Come on, fish. Perfect cast. I have to try and avoid that PVC, but shouldn't have casted right over it. Now I'm worried. There we go. Okay, nice fish, guys. Nice fish. Nice bass on the fly rod. Came right out of that PVC. Let's go, guys. This is so much fun. I'm freaking casting 30 yards and hooking nice bass. Cookie cutter, but we know they're in here. Let's throw them back and see if we can hook another one in that same spot. I knew it was a good spot. 2 for 2. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up the video fly fishing for bass in Texas. We had a fairly successful day. I mean, we caught a bunch of fish. They weren't very big, but you know, for the first day of fly fishing in like 8 months, you know, I would call it a success. I thought, you know, my casting was a little off today, but it'll improve, you know, the more I fish. And usually the first day is the worst and it gets better every time. But eventually I'll be like a freaking sick fly fisherman for bass. I'm pretty good at trout. Been doing it my whole life. It's just, you know, something that I actually enjoy, and I had a lot of fun today. So let me know what you guys think of these fly fishing videos. If you guys like them, be sure to like them. That'll tell me whether or not I should keep fishing with a fly rod or I should keep fishing with a bass rod. I'm leaning towards the fly rod right now, so let me know, guys. Anyways, if you guys like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you next time.